Hello Capstone Group of 2022. Our group, which consists of Brooklyn, Abve, Daniel, and Shanae, presents to you the automated package conveyor system. This idea started back in January 2022 when the pandemic was still at large and a lot of packages were being ordered from companies, and due to the delays in shipping and delivery and the lack of workers from the pandemic, we decided that in automating this process would really ensure that customers are able to still get their packages at an appropriate time frame, while some may argue that it could be much faster. Introducing the automated package conveyor system, a system that is able to automate the existing process to make up the void that is missing in the delay in delivery times and to promote faster delivery. We have an initial stage where the robot lifts up the item, whether small or large, and drops it onto the conveyor, followed by the machine vision station that measures the dimensions of the item in the conveyor and based on those measurements displays a small or large to indicate which box size should be chosen for the item. After that step, it goes to the stage where the robot lifts up the appropriately sized box and then lifts up the item and drops it inside the box. It then travels to the packaging peanuts section where it adds protective beads into the box to ensure the item inside the box is safe during transport to mimic a real-life situation. Lastly, it ends off with the final robot that closes and seals the box to be able to ready for transport. So the stage that I actually worked on is the initial robot stage and the conveyor stage. This is the initial robot that's controlled using a robot teaching pendant. This robot will actually lift up the items that we have, whether it's a small item or a large item, and place it on top of the conveyor. The conveyor that we've designed is a total of 1 meter long and is controlled using a stepper motor that is coded by Arduino. We have our IR sensors over here that actually stop the motor from running to stop the conveyor whenever an item is in place within range, and that stops the conveyor to allow each of the 4 stages to occur. Go.
I worked in the machine vision portion of this process. So what happens is an object will be placed onto the conveyor and it will stop in front of the IR sensor, which will be within vision of the camera. It will then process the size, and at which it will print out to the main, and it's a large, and then it will move on to the rest.
The stage that I worked on is the packaging stage. As an incoming item moves along the conveyor, it is first triggered by the sensor over here. This is an IR sensor, and there is a short delay wherein it reaches this point, which is the pickup location, at which the arm comes, picks up either one of the boxes, depending on which is sensed by the camera, places it down in front of the sensor, goes back, picks up the item, places it back into the box, and then the line continues on.
So the stage I worked on was the packing peanut dispenser. So in here we have a servo motor controlled flap that opens to let the flow of the packing peanuts flow down into the box. And then once it's filled to the appropriate length depending on the size, then it'll close the flap and stop the dispensing and start the conveyor again. The second stage I worked on was the sealing robot. And so this robot is controlled with servo motors and programmed using an Arduino. And so when the IR sensor is triggered, the robot moves and pushes down the flap that is the lid to the box, so it seals. Once it's sealed, it'll start the conveyor again, and that ends our process.